What's up, YouTube? Counterpunch Boxing. Okay, look, check it out. Today, look, I'm excited. I've wanted to do this for a while, but I was gathering evidence, okay, collecting information. It's what I do. I have mountains and mountains of paperwork and different things I do to bring you the videos that I bring you. Now, I think it was about a month and a half ago, I did like a top 5 reasons that Golovkin beats Canelo. Then I did a top 5 of why Canelo beats Golovkin. Okay, so now I've kind of changed my position on a few things, but basically today I want to give you a prediction, okay, a prediction, right? So, but look, let me kind of touch on those top 5 real quick, and then we'll get into the new stuff in case you guys didn't watch the video, and I'll make it quick, okay? My original top 5, and I'll just throw out a few reasons that I had Golovkin beating Canelo. Number one, I mean, a lot of you may know this, but just bear with me for a minute. Number one, the overall experience, okay? Great amateur background, and we're talking about Gennady Golovkin, of course, okay? Never hurt, never wobbled, never buzzed, never knocked down, nothing. About 400 combined amateur and professional fights combined. Lost, I think, about 3 to 5. I've heard Gennady Golovkin say 3, then I've heard him say like 4, but so we'll say he's lost about 3 to 5 in the amateur. Okay, Olympic background, been fighting since he's like 15 years old, once a week, okay, and the amateurs dude was fighting like once a week, okay, so, I mean, just an incredible, stellar amateur background, and of course the Olympics, okay, and then I had Golovkin with the power, okay, explosive power, over 2,100 pounds of force. Okay, remember I brought you guys like scientific proof that Gennady Golovkin hits like a damn light heavyweight. I mean, dudes in there hitting like freaking Kovalev. Okay, harder actually. I think you know what? I think Gennady Golovkin hits harder than Kovalev. Especially after watching the Andre Ward fight, because I think Gennady Golovkin would completely flatten Andre Ward. So, but with that power, you got the angles, that overhead, overhead shots he throws around the guard, just the snap and the power at the end of each punch, that the chain of kinetic energy that I love to talk about. Just look what he did to Brook. Look what he's done to all his opponents, post Daniel Jacobs, which by the way, we'll get into that in a minute. He's a blown up, basically just blown up to like a cruiserweight, didn't weigh in for the IBF. So he had a little bit of trouble with him, but I think that was all an effort to lure Canelo into the ring. But right now, 89% knockout ratio, 18 title defenses, only 2 to go to break the record or tie the record with Bernard Hopkins. Okay, so that was my number 2, that power, overall experience, power. Number 3 was the mental aspect, okay? I'm sure, I don't know if you guys remember. Here, look, I'll even show you a picture. This was the picture I used right here, okay, back when I made my video. Number 3, mental aspect, and just give me like one more minute and we'll get into it. Okay, I think right now, Golovkin has the upper hand on that, the mental warfare, okay? He's already beat Canelo in sparring, because look, when Canelo came to his gym up in Big Bear, I mean, it was like, the student and the teacher, right? I mean, it was like Gennady Golovkin was the big brother and Canelo was there to learn and, to prepare, because, I mean, back then they even knew Canelo was developing into a light middle or a middleweight, so they knew they needed to start developing him. So, or Canelo knew that, deep inside he knew, he's not no damn, welterweight or no light middleweight. He knew that he was going to eventually end up at middleweight, okay? But just that overall mental aspect, Canelo has never been the underdog, okay? Look, I don't even think he's been in a fair fight, okay, since probably Mayweather, but of course back then, he was the underdog. I mean, look what happened. He completely fell apart, right? I mean, look at the Mayweather fight. And if you look at the timeline, okay, you had the sparring back in, 2011, and then the Mayweather fight in 2012, 2013, don't remember. And then after that, what happened? Okay, boom, Canelo catchweight, the 155-pound Canelo catchweight, and then he had the wins over Angulo, Irizlandi Lara, Cotto, all these people, Amir Khan, James Kirkland, which I was ringside for. Okay, so that mental aspect, I think Gennady has the upper hand. And then ring generalship, of course. Look at the Willie Monroe fight. That's a perfect example of what ring generalship is. I mean, he was even letting Monroe, he was letting Willie land shots. He's like, just at free will, hey, hit me, go ahead and hit me. Here's my chin, boom, hit me. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Cutting off the ring, applying constant pressure like no one else, by the way. Just that seek and destroy mentality, adaptation, confidence, you name it. You hit me, I hit you harder, okay? And that's that ring generalship, okay? The dominance, the destruction, the overall control. He lets his hands go, okay? He attacks first and during exchanges. I mean, before, during, and after. He's a come forward, pressure, seek and destroy fighter, okay? That power, that dominating power, okay? And then, of course, number 5, I had, I said that, styles make fights. You basically have a boxer puncher against a powerhouse, a heavy hitter, right? A throwback fighter. Then my top 5 for Canelo, which I'll just run through them real quick. Boom, weight. Canelo's going to come in, light heavyweight, right? A light heavyweight, wouldn't doubt it, okay? The A side. Now, look, if you're not convinced of the whole A side, B side thing by now, you will never be convinced, okay? Because, I mean, look, and when I say A side, okay, Paulie Malignaggi made a good point. He was talking about the Mayweather-McGregor fight, and the guy he was talking to said, but the fans love Conor McGregor. He's the A side, okay? But Paulie said, no. When we talk about A side, okay, especially here in the media, we're more talking about like the business aspect of it, okay? It's not necessarily who do the fans like better. It's the ring walk, okay? Who gets the final say in a fight to pick the gloves? You know what I mean? Pick the gloves and pick this and pick that. The referees, the officials. That's the A side. So in this fight, in the Gennady Golovkin-Canelo fight, Canelo is the A side, okay, and that's why he gets a bigger portion of the purse, okay, because he's the A side. So I gave that to Canelo. Age, youth, and work rate, and a lot of people argued with me on this, but I think Canelo, he's got the age and the work rate, and he is the busier fighter. I mean, if you go back and look at the punch stats, I mean, he throws more punches, he lets his hands go, he puts together combinations, so therefore he's the busier fighter, and the judges like that. Okay, so that worked in his favor. And then the classic mistake, this kind of applied to both guys, okay? Meaning you can't let the fight slip away. You can't get comfortable, you can't get complacent, you can't take a round off, you can't say, oh, okay, I did really good in that round, now I'm going to do like mediocre in the next round. No, you got to fight every round like it is a championship round, okay? You cannot make that mistake because the judges will rob your ass, okay? And we've seen it happen. Okay, big drama show. Here we go. Gennady Golovkin, Canelo. Now, look, let me touch on one more thing real quick. Look, you guys know, if you've watched any of my prediction videos, I always go back to like the last 2 or 3 fights, okay? And of course, with Gennady Golovkin, you got Jacobs, Brook, and Dominic Wade, and then David Lemieux. Before that, Canelo, you got Chavez, Smith, Khan. Okay, we know. Now let's just take the last 2. Take Jacobs and take Chavez, okay? And really, there's criticism that can be handed out both ways, okay? With Chavez, you can say, well, he's a human punching bag, and why didn't Canelo knock him out? Because if Canelo can't knock that dude out, there's no way he's going to knock out a Gennady Golovkin. But we all know Chavez has a granite chin, but there's also a lot of wear and tear on that chin, and he was completely drained. I mean, the dude was like a zombie, okay? I mean, so why couldn't he knock him out? I mean, it's a valid question, okay? But then people will say, oh, well, why couldn't Golovkin knock out what's his name, Daniel Jacobs, right? Well, that's easy to answer too. I mean, he was, like I said, he was basically a cruiserweight in there. He was huge. He was running the whole fight, okay? And Golovkin was chasing him down. Golovkin was the aggressor, chasing this dude for 12 rounds, and he did knock him down. And had he stood there and went toe to toe, I think he eventually would have knocked him out. And people say, which I'm kind of on the fence. They say, well, he wanted to lure Canelo in, okay? But But like I said, Golovkin, he was the aggressor, and what I liked is he worked behind the jab, okay? I mean, that's going to be key in the Canelo fight. He's got to work behind the jab. I mean, just be the predator, and Canelo is the prey, okay? The whole predator-prey thing in there, and, you know, the effective aggressor, that's the thing. But, yeah, definitely got to work behind the jab. Now, Canelo... People keep asking me, you know, what as far as like the punching goes, you know, and I always say, well, I want to see a good jab with Golovkin, but Canelo, okay, he does good body work, okay, he's a good combination puncher. The uppercuts, I mean, we all remember the uppercut that Brook landed, right? It went around, you know, Facebook and Twitter for like, I don't know, like 3 months of this one uppercut that Brook landed. So I think we're going to see that same uppercut in the fight, okay, the combinations, the uppercut, and the body work. Right, but you know, I don't know. Let me just leave it at that, and let's get into the newer information. So I wanted to touch on all that just to kind of set the groundwork for what I think now. Not a lot has changed, but okay. Canelo, he's never faced a true middleweight. I mean, think about it. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? I mean, he's never. Well, you could say Chavez. Okay, you could use Chavez as an example, but other than that, I mean, come on, who is there, right? Amir Khan? I mean, really? You know, a light welterweight or a light welter with only 3 fights at welterweight. I mean, who? There is no one. So how is he going to handle that power? How is he going to handle that pressure? But then, you know, the critics will say, well, Golovkin doesn't have that power anymore. He can't apply that pressure anymore, you know, because he's in there fighting bums and although I've already proven to you guys that he's in there fighting top 10s, and he's fought more top 10s than any current champion as of right now. But, you know, that's a big question. How is Canelo going to handle the power? And really, how's he going to fare in a equal fight, right? I mean, this is like the first time since 2013, the first time since Mayweather that the dude has been in a fair fight. So that's a good question, okay? And here's the next question: did Golovkin lure Canelo in? And man, right now I don't know. I simply do not know, because when you ask Canelo or when you ask Golovkin that, he'll tell you no. He'll just say, oh, you know, this is boxing. This is just, you know, whatever happened, happened. You know, he doesn't really give you a clear, direct answer. But then I've also heard him kind of like, you know, kind of insinuate that, yeah, I kind of took it easy on him because I wanted to make sure I got that Canelo fight, okay? But in the fight, okay, I want to see constant pressure and a relentless attack from Golovkin. He cannot respect Canelo. Okay, he needs to go in there and treat him like just a paid sparring partner. You know what I mean? He needs to go in there and treat him just like a rookie, and that's what he does. He needs to do. He needs to get inside Canelo's head, right? And just make him feel like, you know, you are the underdog. You're going to lose tonight. You know, you might as well settle into the fight and get ready to lose, you know, with that pressure, all right? Now, but with pressure comes infighting, and Canelo's not bad with the infighting, all right? And that's where the uppercuts can come in. You know, you got Canelo on the ropes, boom, he can throw that uppercut. So, you know, you're going to have to be careful right there. But basically, you know, you got power versus activity and pressure versus speed, because look, when you compare the two, I do think Canelo is faster than Golovkin, and I do think he is the more active boxer, okay? Like I said, go look at the punch stats. I mean, they don't lie, all right? I'm not real big on stats, but in this situation, they don't lie, okay? But look, let me show you one more thing real quick, and I will tell you my final prediction here. I just wanted to lay it all out for you guys right here. I'm coming back to this, okay? Because look, all of this is all of these are chapters. These are chapters in boxing. These are chapters in the matches. You know, what's going to happen? Is it going to be a mistake? You know, is the age going to be, or the age and the youth and the work rate, is that going to beat the veteran? You know, is the A side going to matter when it comes to the judges, right? Is his weight going to matter? I mean, all of these things come into play, but I really think this right here, I think that is going to be the deciding factor. What I think is going to happen, I think it's going to be a close fight, okay? And look, I would love to sit here and tell you that I think Gennady Golovkin is going to have a 10-8 round with a knockdown, and, you know, he's going to take him out in the later rounds. But you know, you got Gennady Golovkin going around talking about retirement right now. Okay, in his last photo shoot, I mean, he had the pudge on the belly, right? I've never seen Gennady Golovkin with a little bit of gut hanging over the belt line. All right, you know, he's looking different. To me, his body is changing. He's getting older. You know, you cannot fight it. You know, you cannot fight Father Time, Mother Nature, whatever. You cannot fight it. And I really feel like Golovkin is changing. Even that killer instinct, okay? You know, and he's definitely, look, this is not, you know, Martin Murray or Gabriel Rosado. I mean, he's no longer in his prime, okay? So, and there's a reason Golden Boy waited until now for this fight, okay? Because they know these things. They know that Golovkin is on the decline. He's no longer in his prime. And all they got to do is get to the 12th round bell, and they got it in the bag, okay? I mean, look, and here's the key. I mean, look what happened when Jacobs made it to the 12th round. Look what happened. I mean, everyone said, you know, he won. Why? Because he made it through the fight. You know, you made it to the 12th round. You know, you win. I mean, it's going to be the same shit here. What, you think it's going to change? You think all of a sudden shit's going to change? No, it's going to be the same damn thing. If he can make it to the 12th round, he will win the fight, okay? And I think the whole A-side thing is going to really come into play. Now, the only way that Golovkin wins a decision is, like I said, with a 10-8 round and, you know, just a couple of rounds that should be considered 10-8 rounds, okay? He's got to dominate damn near every round. I mean, it can't be no 7-5 bullshit, okay? It can't be like, in your mind, Golovkin won 7 and Canelo won 5, you know. If that's what it is, they're going to give it to Canelo, okay? Even with a knockdown, Hear me now, people, I'm telling you. I mean, the shit that's going on lately with the Pacquiao-Jeff Horn, and even on the undercards, I mean, look at the fucking Rigo fight. I mean, that whole night was just a clusterfuck. Okay, that was a terrible night of officiating in boxing, all right? I mean, look what just happened. I mean, like I said, you basically have a school teacher that just, like, made himself into a 12-round decision against Pacquiao. So, you know, why wouldn't they do the same damn thing to Gennady Golovkin? And they also know that Canelo is the cash cow, okay? They know he's the cash cow. But then I know the argument, and I even argue with myself, okay? And I say, well, but there's a rematch clause. So if Canelo loses, then they have a rematch clause. But here's what I see Canelo doing, okay? And I'm trying to make it quick. What I see Canelo doing, if he does lose, I see Canelo saying, oh, I was robbed. I know I really won. I mean, it's kind of like just like he did with the WBO. You know, basically, you know, stomp his feet and go, man, I'm right and you're wrong, and, you know, we're going to leave it at that. So it could be that. You know, he could lose on a decision, and, you know, he won't exercise the rematch clause. So, but what I really think is, you know, right now I do have Golovkin winning, okay? Technically, I have Golovkin winning. But I really think that, you know, I don't think he's going to do enough to where it's an undoubtable win, okay? I think it's going to be one of those situations where, you know, you're gonna have that 10%, because it seems like that's all it takes anymore is 10% of the boxing community to agree with the judges, and a robbery is okay. And that's what I think. I mean, that's really what I think. There's your boy right there. There's your boy right there working hard. But yeah, so I got Canelo winning by decision. So that is my pre-prediction. Now, what will change my mind? I want to see an aggressive, hungry Golovkin. I don't want to hear about retirement. I don't care what your wife said. I don't want to hear, oh, my wife wants me to retire. Oh, and we're gonna go home tonight and bake a cake. I mean, dude, I mean, you need to be preparing for battle. You know, get your game face on, right? Get fucking pissed. I want to see some aggression, right? I mean, I don't want to hear about retirement, and, you know, they'll say, well, Golovkin, you know, do you think you can knock him out? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I mean, this is boxing. I really don't know. I mean, shit, if they asked me that question, I'd be like, hell yeah, that motherfucker's going down in round 8. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Round 7, round 8. You know, that's what I want to see out of Golovkin. And look, he can be the polite gentleman, you know, that he is. It's okay. It's okay. I don't expect him to do like, you know, some kind of like Conor McGregor style trash talking, but have a little confidence, right? You know, you don't have to be arrogant. Have a little confidence, and for God's sake, please stop talking about retirement. So when I see that, you know, and when I see like some good training footage, you know, then you know, I might tip it towards Golovkin. But right now, I've got Canelo winning by decision, and it might piss you people off out there. Well, watch. You know, sit back and watch. Okay, just watch. It's going to happen, you know, unless we see a dramatic change in Gennady Golovkin. Now, look, I'm about to call Abel Sanchez. Well, I'm about to call the gym, and I'm trying to get an interview right now. And if you guys have any questions you want me to ask him, put it down in the comment section right now. Here, let me read the questions that I have right now for him, and we'll go ahead and end the video there. So hang on, guys. You can cut it off now if you want to, but let me thumb through my notebook here real quick. Where the fuck did I do with it? Yeah, I was kind of thinking about it last night, and I wrote down, you know, just a bunch of questions that I wanted to ask. Damn, what'd I do with it? Hang on. Ah, here we go. Okay. So I've got like 3 or 4 right now. Number 1, okay, did Gennady Golovkin take it easy on Jacobs or Brook, you know, and to get Canelo in the ring? And I want a real answer, right? And I'm going to pressure him for a real answer. Okay, number 2, okay, when will Gennady Golovkin retire? Give me the worst case scenario, best case scenario, 1 fight, 3 fight. You know, is he going to go for the undisputed championship, Billy Joe Saunders? You know, so I'm going to kind of group 2 questions into one. Number 3, does Gennady Golovkin understand he needs to win every round? He cannot take a round off, and basically he'll get robbed. Okay, I mean, does he understand that? Okay, which I'm sure he does, but I want to ask. Okay, number 4. Oh, I put, is it a possibility to get or is a Jacobs rematch a possibility? Because, you know, Jacobs saying he feels like he was robbed and this, that, and the other. And, you know, how do you see it? How does Golovkin see it? That kind of thing. So I'm just curious. And the reason I'm asking that question is I'm trying to figure out, are they planning on a future for Golovkin? Because if he's like, well, hell yeah, you know, we'll give him a rematch, then they plan on continuing on. So there's a couple of reasons I wanted to ask that question. And then, of course, I wanted to ask, you know, what is your prediction, and do you think we will get a come forward, you know, seek and destroy Gennady Golovkin, or will he try to outbox Canelo? In other words, I'm going to try to figure out what their game plan is. So those are a few questions that I have right now. So if you guys have, you know, any ideas of questions that I need to ask Abel Sanchez, like I said, drop it in the comment section below. We got a new video coming out every day. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it.